Have you ever wanted a peek behind the scenes at Oz 9? You really shouldn't. It's a mess back there. And no one knows that better than its cast. In this special hiatus episode, our 4 newest cast members, Iri Alexander, Sarah Golding, Kevin Hall, and David S. Deere, got together, digitally anyway, to lament their foolish decision to come aboard the Oz 9.
Hello, welcome. This is the Season 2 to Season 3 hiatus episode where we are going to have a little discussion with the 4 newest cast members who joined the show in Season 2.
No one can see me wiggling my head.
Yeah, I was raising my eyebrows, but that didn't make a sound either. If it did, it'd be disturbing, but...
What kind of sound would it make? Yeah.
Yeah, what Foley? What
Strange
Foley
whooshing
would
of
make?
hairs against the microphone.
I do that with a horse brush and a small penny.
I have a ton of resumes in my drive, and none of them are mine.
Just use someone else's. Nobody will ever know.
She's the collector of resumes.
Well, I played King Lear in an episode of... No. So, first thing we'll do is we'll introduce ourselves. So I figured, why don't we go ahead and start with David, since he's the newest member of the cast. So who are you? What characters do you play? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, I am David S. Deere, and I play Dr. Theo Bromae, introduced in the third to the last episode, I think it was.
Huzzah!
Something like that, yeah.
Anti-penultimate. I just learned that word a couple days ago, so I can sound really pretentious. And I play also, well, I played in the bonus episode, Dr. Charlie. What was his last name? I don't even remember. I guess we can just go with Dr. Charlie. And that's me on Oz 9, at least for now. and as far as my other acting stuff, currently I am the creator and producer of the sci-fi audio drama A Ninth World Journal.
Hooray!
I'm also the co-producer, along with Shannon, of the Listen, Rinse, Repeat podcast, the Wash Your Hands While Listening to an Episode
Yes,
podcast,
that's so good.
which is a lot of fun. But I've most of my experience in theater, in acting, has been in theater on stage for the last, I don't know, maybe 25 years or so. But I've since left the live stage and gone to the audio, behind the mic, as it were.
To the dark
That's
side.
kind of a lot more fun, in my opinion. Yeah, the dark side. Booths, so dark.
I like to have light in my booths. I don't know about the rest of you, but I need to see the script.
No, I'm getting a nice tan off my iPad. That blue light. Just my face. It's just tanned.
Someone needs to invent that, with the little foil things on either side, you know.
Well,
Nice.
let's do it. Let's manufacture it. Oz 9 teams tanning iPad.
It's something that Oz 9 would manufacture, wouldn't it?
Yeah, come on, Oz 9ify it. Let's do it.
Don't be surprised if that item shows up in an episode of Oz 9 later after Shannon hears this.
It will not be safe.
Iri, how about you next?
Oh, okay,
You're the next newest member.
Sure. I couldn't find my resume, so I'll try my best. I'm Iri Alexander. What have I done? Well, I am the creator, producer, and 5 other things for Jim Robbie and the Wonders. I also voiced the character of Tango. I am also the champion in Otherverse. I played Dory in What's the Frequency, and I've had guest spots in Our Fair City, Greater Boston. I know I'm missing a couple podcasts, and I'm so very sorry. But yeah, I've done a lot in the voice acting, podcasting community, which I love doing. At the moment, during COVID, I've been knitting a sweater, and working on reopening my creative workspace in Olympia, Washington, where we have a recording booth and a bunch of space for artists to work in. Yeah, I think, did I miss anything?
Just the name of your character on Oz 9.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. I can't keep keep track of things. I play Julie on Oz 9, so that's what I do.
Okay. Sarah, how about you next?
Hello, I'm Sarah Golding. I play Mrs. Sheffield in Oz 9, and if I told you anything else, I'd have to kill you. No, I love voice acting. It's something I've been doing for, I guess, 6 years now, 6 years, and I also have a podcast about voice acting, which any of you are welcome on at any time, called Mediva, and season 3 is being created as we speak. I've been interviewing all sorts of lovely people about voice acting, directing, and casting, and more to be useful to the community. And I do a funded podcast called Anyone for Coffee. It's a women's health podcast looking at 5 different amazing women and what's happening behind their eyes, if you like, the real things affecting them in their day-to-day. And podcast-wise, I've been in so many fun things. It would take me a little while, I think. I know I worked out the other day, I've been over 100 different podcasts. I think I had one line, Iri, in Jim Robbie and the Wanderers.
I'm pretty sure we've had you in Jim Robbie and the Wanderers. I remember when I used to ask people to play shrimps, so we've had so many people.
Yeah, I've enjoyed myself immensely, and I love different accents, so I've got quite a different range of different types of characters. So I've been playing lots of different folks on like Amelia podcast and Scottish podcast and Hostile Worlds and lots and lots of fun. It would be boring if I just listed them, but just go and look up Sarah Golding on something and you'll find a list of fun things. I just love it. Voice acting is the best job in the world, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, I'd never be Mrs. Sheffield in real life. I'm not sassy enough. So this is why I love voice acting. You can be exactly who you're not really ever able to really be. I've stopped.
All right, that brings us to me. I'm Kevin Hall. I'm the voice of Greg the Zebra, which the other people can see I'm wearing my Greg shirt today. Greg was originally Cal before he switched bodies. I also play Felonius, one of Tiberius's henchmen. But I've also done several other voices for the show, including Spotty Bosch, the Armadillo, Radu the Handsome, the vampire in our Halloween episode, Matt, who I have to admit I'm glad I don't have to do anymore. I hated doing that voice. Who else did I do? Oh, the tour guide. I keep thinking there's at least one more, but I keep forgetting what all the voices are I do. But
Did you do the mime? The voice of the mime?
Yes. No, actually.
Everybody went, what? Wait a minute.
Yeah. At first I started to go, wait. Then I realized what you were doing. But, Oz 9 is my first foray into voice acting, something I've been wanting to do for a long time. But before that, I've done most of my acting experience was in high school. I did some community theater, including one very ambitious production of the Laramie Project a number of years ago, which the Laramie Project is only supposed to be like 5 or 6 cast members doing all these 30-some characters, switching out characters in a very minimal stage. And our director decided she was going to cast every single one of those parts.
Whoa.
So we had this huge cast of 30 people on stage the whole show during this production of the Laramie Project. I'm having trouble remembering what was his name. Moises Kaufman, I think, is the writer of that play.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having trouble remembering, but he actually came and talked to us because he heard about it and thought this was a fantastic idea. So I actually got to meet him doing that too.
Cool.
Groovy.
So, but Other than that, I'm a city bus driver when I'm not doing funny voices.
Oh, hooray for
And-
city bus drivers everywhere. Where would we be without
And-
folks?
Other than that, I served 14 years in the U.S. Military, Army, and National Guard. And
Wow.
I could get into the long list of jack of all trades jobs I've done, but we don't have that much time.
We should get people to guess them, and if they get all of them, they win an Oz 9 zebra t-shirt.
We'll leave that up to Shannon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're giving us so many ideas. Aren't we kind? As if she needs anything else to do, my goodness.
Right.
All praise the Shannon. No, it's amazing. Fun. It's fun writing, isn't it? Fun writing. Get stuck into.
Yeah.
Have a laugh.
I like the idea of just having to write, not worrying about everything else.
Yes. Yes. You just turn up and act and have fun. Yay.
So we've got some questions that the original cast answered between season 1 and season 2 that we'll now answer.
Do we win a prize if
first
we
one-
get them right? Do we win it?
Do we also get zebra t-shirts?
That'd be amazing. I think that was a no.
Only if we get them wrong, because that's Oz 9.
Yeah,
Well,
fair
yeah.
enough.
So it's not a zebra, it's what, like an orangutan? With stripes.
I've decided I'm going to
wanna see
mime all
one
my
of
answers. So then I guess.
Stop giving Shannon ideas. She'll write it into the script.
That's okay. I just need royalties.
Okay. First question here is, how did you get involved with Oz 9?
Oh, it was a
go
salubrious
first?
night back in New York, 1969. And, oh no, sorry. Got distracted.
Everything happens in 1969 in New York, it seems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think there's a definite thing
So that
there.
makes it believable as far as.
Did you believe me? Did you?
Yes.
I know I wasn't actually born
Especially if
there,
it's also a dark and stormy night.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And the rain is falling in waves.
but- Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'll let someone else speak first, because I've told mine now.
Oh,
Well,
this. After
is
you.
it rumble time? I don't know what's going on.
Very
Sorry,
polite.
Edward.
I got an email from Shannon that was like, hey, do you want to voice a character? We need a character. I met her while she was tabling at Podtails that I had the fortune to be able to fly out to and do a tabling for Bromae and the Wanderers. And so that was really nice to like meet other people and awkwardly hand people business cards, even though we hadn't had an episode in 2 years. So, yeah, no, it was really awesome to kind of get that email and be like, oh my goodness, like she remembered that I exist as a human being and that I can voice act. Nice.
So many people. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
Well,
Go.
mine's a little kind of odd. Shannon and I have kind of, we've known each other from the Cast Junkies Discord server, and our paths collided and crossed, and we talked with each other a lot, and we were both headed to do, and I'm going to shed a tear when I say this, but she had wanted me to join in on the Wi-Fi Sci-Fi live show we were going to do in Seattle on the 25th.
Yeah.
I know.
It will happen one day. It will.
It will happen one day. Yes, absolutely. But she and I were just talking bits and back and forth and stuff like that. And I was listening to the interview that the cast was doing on Creators Anon, and they were talking about something about Jamaican accent or something like that. And it was Bonnie saying, I don't know how to do one. And they're like, well, you're going to have to learn how to do one, et cetera, et cetera. So then in a chat with Shannon, I'd said, you do realize that my mom's West Indian, and I I do those accents. So I'm just saying ... And she's like, what are you saying? And I'm like, if you ever wanted to do that. And she's like, you really want to do this show? You'd really want to be on the show? And I'm like, I've wanted to be on the show since I've heard it. I just love the show, but I didn't want to sit there and come up to you and go, can I be on your show? And have you go, oh, God. Because Shannon can't say no to anybody, so I shouldn't divulge that. But so she was like,
she'll edit it if she doesn't want you to know.
There you go. Yeah, it's the power of the editor. So she says to me, actually, I've wanted to ask you if you do a bit on the show, but I didn't think you would. Aww. And I'm like, well, I want to be on the show, but I didn't think it was kind of one of those weird, like, standoff kind of things. So
yeah,
she created Dr. Theo Bromae, and here we are.
Amazing. I think mine was actually just a random Twitter conversation, I think, where Shannon said, would I like to come and play? And I was like, yeah, because I generally am a tweeter-outer of things I like. Don't know if you noticed. And essentially, Oz9 I've been following since the outset, really gently. And just got asked, and it's like, yeah, that'd be fun, that'd be exciting. So I've jumped in and I'm playing. It's all good.
Well, unlike David, I did kind of force myself in.
Did you wear the zebra outfit to get the part? Is that what it was?
No. I actually went to high school with Tim Sherburne, who plays Colin, and he kept posting on Facebook about this podcast he was doing. So one day I said, okay, I'll give it a listen. I think it was around episode 15 was out by that time. So I went ahead and binged the whole 15 episodes. And I thought, I have always wanted to do some voice acting. So I reached out to Tim and said, if she's okay with remote actors, would she be interested in having me come in and do some voices? I wasn't expecting to become a permanent member of the cast at that time. I was just thinking I'll do voices like the Armadillo, Radu, these other characters that I've done. I figured, well, that's fine. That's all I wanted to do. But she decided to go ahead and make me Cal and then move me on to a full cast member, and I've been enjoying it. It's a fun bunch of people to be around and work with, and it lets me stretch my vocal talents a little bit. So
groovy. Do you get to be in the same room as the folks then as well?
Unfortunately, no. I'm in Central Illinois, and so are Aaron and June Clark are also in the same area I am, but they record at their house. I record at my house. Okay. And Tim, Richard, and Eric and Shannon they all go over to Tim and Richard's house and record because they all live pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
And of course Bonnie lives down in Texas, so
bit of a stretch for a day trip.
I'm the closest. I can make like a 1.5 hour drive to visit them, but I was brought on just as Corona hit, so that didn't happen.
Oh, dang it. Well, you're welcome here whenever you like. Just let me know.
Yeah, I'll just hop on a plane.
Or maybe learn to row. Probably be quicker than getting here by plane at the moment. Who knows?
Well, with my arm right now, I guess I need the hiatus.
That wouldn't work. You'd end up in the bottom of Mexico or something, would it? Depends which sea you
I'd
hit first.
be rowing in circles.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't work. Dang.
Look, there's the coast. Look, there's the coast again. Look, there's the coast.
But then you'd have one amazing arm, though, after doing that.
Oh, yeah.
So.
You'd look like a fiddler crab.
Oh, that'd be great.
That's the look that was on the front of Heat magazine, wasn't it? Everyone's going for that look these days, so maybe we should try.
I think so. Yeah.
But no, sending healing vibes to your arm, healing vibes. Oh, yes, that would work. Sorry,
looks like
it's
we.
a bit of a tangent
Some of
there.
us have kind of answered this. Some of us have kind of answered this next question already. But what's the experience been like so far?
It's very sexy. Very.
Yeah, that's a good word for it.
Would you all agree? This is a sexy show. I think it's not marketed right. It needs to be, yeah.
More lingerie involved.
Do you not record in lingerie? I thought that was the stipulation. Is that not right?
Don't give me mental
I
images
didn't
of.
get that memo. Gosh.
Well, I hate to tell you guys, I actually do.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's
I've
just
heard
because
rumors.
it's Corona, so we don't put on pants.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But
Plus all
I
that
really did
movement
not
you do,
need.
you know.
I did not need the mental image of Greg wearing a pair of suspenders with silk stockings and a.
It's
Brazier.
somebody's thing. I'm sure
You know-
somebody finds it attractive.
Yep.
There's all sorts of crazy people out there. I've just really been enjoying it. It's been relaxing, and I just, especially with everything that's happened, it's just nice to like talk to people occasionally.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yes.
very social
And good
person, and
people.
all of a sudden I can't leave the house. So it's just really nice to occasionally be like, oh, should I have a Zoom call? I should go do that.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. No, it's been really fun. I love the let's for want of a better phrase of putting it, the sort of last minute nature of the fun. Because my life is quite hectic. I juggle lots of different plates very badly, and so this way of working is very exciting. And so I love the thing of you get your lines there and they're due there. It's like yes, because I don't work so well with people who say, "Okay, Sarah, here's your lines. Get them in when you like." Well, that then automatically, obviously, goes till Christmas, because
Right.
I have so many other things. So by working this way, it's been actually kind of cool, and I've hopefully been mostly
Yeah,
on time.
It is nice to have a deadline that's basically like, please, as soon as possible, if you can, at 2 a.m. tonight, just go do that. Just do it.
Next 10 minutes.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, no, it's
It's for me, it's a really refreshing pace from Ninth World Journal because we do the table reads, and those are a lot of fun to have those interactions, which Ninth World Journal is all asynchronous, so the actors are just sending me the lines whenever they can, which works really well for that show. But for this show, having that, being able to kind of play off each other and having that dynamic in the table reads is really a lot of fun, and that's something that you don't get to do as often in the audio drama world. Even as I do a bunch of guest shows, I think this is the first show I've done synchronously or doing
Right.
live, either table read or recording studio style. The rest of the ones that I've been a guest on, I've sent in the lines, and you just kind of all of a sudden a podcast episode's out, and you're like, oh, okay.
yeah, I
It's a
think
good
more
thing it
people
sounds
should do. Sorry.
Coherent.
Yeah. No, I think more people should do jumping online. And I mean, there's so many ways to connect. There's Source Connect Now and Zoom and there's Zencaster and
And yet we
Clean
still
Feed
haven't had you in one of our get-together recordings, Sarah.
No, I think they've
Only
landed at times which
time
hadn't
didn't
worked.
exist.
But I will stay up later. I've been trying to get more beauty sleep for obvious reasons. It's just not working. So,
It's tough when you're like 3 days ahead of us here.
well, this is it. Space-time
Yeah.
continuum, splitting the atom thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, so Britain. We're in. It's Thursday now, and it's
Great.
good. Looks good today. It's very hot. It's 30 degrees, and when you get to it, it'll be a beautiful day. But no, I think more people should do it because I've produced as well, and I think having people in the same space to connect with the paces and the timbres and you can hear what your fellow people speak like, so that if you do still have to record individually, you've kind of got an idea in your head of the makeup of it, the component parts, which I think do help. And I don't know about you, but I do imagine the characters I'm speaking to when I'm speaking to them, and the space I'm in. So it's almost like the Star Trek room, kind of the thingy room, the holodeck, whatever is my microphone. It's like I'm in the warehouse, and the car, and I imagine quite vividly, as well as I say, what the people look like and where they are in relation to me and all those things. So I think having a table read online in this kind of Zoom fashion or whatever people utilise is really valuable as a voice actor. It makes you feel valued a bit more as well, I think.
Yeah.
We've since I've joined the show, we've always done a cold read first, where we all got together in Zoom, and then while we were still on the Zoom, we do the recording. We've done more of a little sort of a remote recording thing lately because we can't get people closer together to do it, because Tim and Richard at their house is where they have the good recording stuff. So it's a little harder for the Seattle crew to get together and do the good recording. But it's always been a lot of fun. We sit around, and, especially when we do the recordings. June Clark sits right next to Aaron, her husband, and she sits there, and while Aaron's doing Le Bichon Frisé, he's doing some line, and she's covering her mouth, trying hard not to get the laughs heard over the microphone from what he's doing. And it's just so much fun to sit there and watch her laugh at what's going on.
I love that. See, that connectivity, you can't buy it, can you? I think voice actors are the most fun people, I find. And a lot of the stuff we do is very insular. I used this joke today, but I'm going to recycle it. Why not? I've spent more time underneath this duvet than I can think of. And what other fun things can you think of to do under a duvet? And it didn't quite fall as better. But essentially, I am quite insular in what I do a lot of the time. And sometimes I'm recording at stupid o'clock in the morning, and sometimes a bit more sensible time. So any chance I can get to connect with people and learn from people, I think voice acting is all about paying attention to what other folks are doing as well, and thinking, oh, that's groovy what they're doing, and trying to soak their technique or their moods up is very cool.
I like doing it because, like I said, I've got a background of stage theater. So does Tim. So does Aaron. So does June. So we're all used to. There's several of us we've got stage experience. It's great to be able to play off of what the person's doing, even though our listeners aren't going to see the facial expressions or the body motions or whatever.
Yeah, we
get to see that, and we can play off of it, and it helps develop our characters a little bit when we're doing the character.
Yes.
And actually, I've got a question for everyone. It's not on the list here. There's something I thought about because I know. How dare
exciting!
Breaking protocol.
What's it gonna be?
I don't know.
I don't know.
The voice and personality of your character. How did you come up with it?
I have to say that at least for me, Julie is super easy because it's like just my standard level of sarcasm.
Hooray!
That's I think she's one of the easiest characters that I've had to voice because there is no no voice modulation that I have to do. Like, I'm not having to pitch my voice or put on an accent or try to change the way that I behave. It's like every line is just my level of sarcasm. So it's just me snapping at people, which is nice. It's a refreshing break from having to play tango where I'm like squeaking the entire time and exuberant and excited. So I appreciate Shannon just handing me myself.
Oh my gosh, is this what Shannon's doing? Is she telling us who we're really like? Well, that's very exciting.
I mean, I'm okay with that. Julie's
I have to say, I think so. Even though Greg's not my voice, I don't have the southern accent. The more I think about it, the more Greg really kind of fits my personality.
Okay.
Just that pleasant, jovial kind of guy. And I remember, the first time I did Cal, when he first showed up on the show, Shannon got a hold of me and said, "Can you do an avuncular accent?" And I was like, I think so. I'd heard the word avuncular before, but I was sitting here scratching my head trying to figure out what that meant. And so she said, well, it's like the kindly uncle type thing. Oh, yeah, okay. So I started thinking about it, and come recording day, I didn't really have a voice in mind. And the line showed up, and I just said the first line with that accent, and Bonnie died laughing. She loved the fact that the bomb had a southern accent.
Amazing.
I love that accent. Oh
yeah,
my!
it's glorious.
When Cal first showed up on the scene, I was like, "Oh, I love this character. I love the character."
Yeah, you can envision him straight
I'm glad
away.
we changed from the deep modulation to the just vague modulation, because if you can't tell, I tend to talk a little quick, and we found out that I had to slow down to do Cal. Otherwise, it was really hard to hear with the modulation.
So hard to slow down your damn voice.
It is, and it gives me anxiety to try to slow down to do it. It's like, I want to talk quicker.
I'm constantly second guessing myself, because I'm like, okay, am I talking still too fast? Like, do I need to slow down even more? Do I think I've slowed down and I'm just not slowed down at all? Because naturally, you guys have, I'm sure, noticed, I can go breakneck if I need to with the way that I talk. I'm just very fast.
Yeah.
And I've been told a couple of times when voicing that I need to slow down. It's a bad habit.
It's also a Pacific Northwesterner kind of thing. We do kind of speak pretty
I
quickly.
moved up here from fucking Florida. I grew up in Louisiana. How the hell do I talk like a motor
That's
mouth?
a good question.
Was
I was hired to do an audiobook from somebody in Mississippi, and I did the narration, and she said, "You need to slow down. People
She's
in the
fucking
South
lying,
talk
because
super
even in my
slow."
Louisiana accent, I sound like this, and I talk this goddamn fast. So
Wow, interesting.
This
Okay.
is
From
how
the
I
northwest
talk when I
of
live in the
Louisiana.
South, and this is how fast I talk no matter what I'm doing. So I don't know what to tell you.
Wow.
It's perfect as it is. Keep it as it is.
I mean, if you're doing
Yes.
a Faulkner-esque thing, I guess there is that kind of lazy, slow feeling to it. But I know plenty of Southern people that are motor mouths. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
And
Any input from David or Sarah about your
Oh.
voices? How where they came from?
go, David.
My
You're
voice
better
is
than me.
my natural speaking voice, but the character in the feel, that was kind of Shannon's concept, but the way I pull off it is that I have really close friends who don't like people getting close to them. They don't like to be touched, and they make it very, very clear. So I kind of channel them to get that vibe of how they would always react when people ever got close to them. They cut their own hair because they don't want people touching them. So that's kind of my resource for Bromae's approach. He's kind of an intellectual and delights in that, but then I like to try to find the contrast between his intellectualism and his, getting all skeeved out-ism, I guess.
Groovy.
It's really well done. I really like
Yeah,
that.
it's amazing.
I can just see him kind of cringing over to the side, going, "Get away from me!"
And I do when I'm doing the voice. I'll
Oh,
recoil just on those lines,
Yeah, that roughs up
imagining
your
somebody
negligee,
coming
doesn't
close.
it? Yeah. But yeah, I think for Mrs. Dudar, I gave a few different voices to Shannon to decide from, because accents, as I said earlier, I love accents, and so essentially I think I gave her a rougher version, maybe a Liverpool as well, I think, like that, which a few different things that, and then she said, no, I think actually the one that's sort of more like your voice, but with a bit of sass. So I find that I do Mrs. Sheffield a little bit closer to the mic, and slow her down and perhaps soften her even more, because I have a very, you probably noticed, very soft voice, due to allergies, asthma, eczema, and anything else the world can throw at me. So yeah, I think she decided on that one, and that's where we went with it. But yeah, decisions. I think she found it quite hard to fathom which one, but hopefully this one's the funnest.
I always thought your Miss Sheffield sounds a little bit like Drunk Helen from the Scottish podcast.
Amazing. Well, yes, I suppose she's sort of slightly less Scottish, less drunk Helen. Maybe that should be her middle name.
Helen Sheffield, there you go.
Yes! Drunk Helen is one of my favourite ones to do, just because, playing any character that has that kind of ridiculous to them is fun. But yeah, I thrive on that fun. And it's lovely to pop up and just enjoy myself with those wondrous scenes with Mrs. Sheffield. So yeah, voice-wise, I think she's sassy. I think we talked about maybe, because of the initial introduction, that she would have different accents potentially as she did these different things. But no, we kept her the same. And who knows if that's her real voice? Maybe it is drunk Helen at the weekends. But yeah, enjoying myself very much.
Well, let's move on to the next question. Where do you think the story is going?
Ooh.
I have no effing clue.
Space.
I'm just in it for the ride.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
hoping I don't get blown up or something. I think
I know, that's the
best I can
thing.
do. And if I get blown up, maybe I'll be like reparticled together or something.
Yes, a new
Hey, that's
rival
my shtick.
AI.
I'm the one who dies. I'm the one who plays the dying characters.
You're the red shirt.
I've played.
That's right.
I
I'm glad
think this is
I'm
like
glad
the
they finally
first-
added that.
I think this is like the first major role that I have had where we have not planned to kill me. So
The day is young.
I enjoyed dying in Otherverse when I had to waterboard myself in the recording booth in order to make those like gurgling like death sounds.
Goodness.
So I get stabbed through with a sword.
Whoa,
And just
spoilers.
water and blood everywhere. So I came out kind of bleary-eyed with water all over my shirt.
Yeah.
See, this is it. Voice actors, live Foley, and drowning, and dying all at the same time. Plus reading a script. It's immense. Watching your levels. There's so much going on there.
Yeah.
Where's it going?
I don't know that I can say where I think the story's going, because I know that Shannon has no idea where the story's going.
And
Were
long
we
may that
supposed to say
continue.
that out loud?
That's a secret that everyone knows.
Is that
Shush.
gonna get bleeped
Oh, wait a
until,
minute,
like,
wait a minute, let me-
police just
No, Shannon has all 17 seasons plotted out to the word, to the
Yeah,
letter. So.
Only
We have
17.
access to the Google Doc. We're just not allowed to talk about it.
What goes in
I know
Google
what
Docs
happens.
stays in Google Docs. Yes. No, it's
But
very
if I was
exciting.
going to say where it might be going,
Yeah, come on, David. We're hanging on your every word.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see crossovers.
Well, I can't wait for the Star Trek Babylon 5 crossover.
Oh,
That would be
So,
interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Well-
sure which shows we get. I mean, there was already the crossover with, I can't remember who it was from, of course, my brain's on a blank.
Yeah, I
I
can't
see
remember.
it
It was
in
one of the
my
bonus
head.
episodes.
It was one of the bonus episodes. If they're listening, they're shouting it out.
Yeah.
everybody
Yes, this
listen
is- I have
to go to
very
my-
closely.
A test
You'll
for the
hear them
listener.
Screaming in the ether.
Maybe I'll pull up my my show subs and I'll just scroll through it and I can tell you which one it is. So.
It was first season.
I do vaguely remember some sort of crossover. I just don't remember what it was.
It's an alliteration, the show. Why am I blanking?
The vaguely Cockney robot that smokes shows up on
Yes.
the Oz 9.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. They have a book that's out. Jeez Louise.
This
But-
is the whole show.
So more
Just-
crossovers. That's what we.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see if she can do some more crossovers. If she finds other shows to reach out to.
groovy.
Johnny
To
Wade
be
John's
able to-
onto the Oz 9.
Yes. Oh wait. Oh no. I don't. Maybe. We have not talked about that. It's Johnny Way's such a serious guy and such a odd and kooky and strange universe, it would be really, really trippy to see how that would work. The poor guy. He's already having trouble staying grounded as it is.
So what else would you see it pairing with? Like Girl in Space, We Fix Space Junk. Anything with space in the title. Something
I could definitely see us doing a crossover with We Fix Space Junk.
Yeah.
I can just see Kilner showing up on the ship to fix something.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I haven't listened to podcasts in a really long time.
Wow. There are so many.
Best in Galaxy, by the way. It's Best in Galaxy.
That's it.
Ah,
That's it.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we are.
If Corpline comes back, that would be a fun one to do a crossover with.
Which one?
Corpline?
Courtline.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that one.
It's not very spacey, but I think it could be.
No,
But it's very Canadian.
Hurrah! Well, there's Civilized Pod, isn't there? That, jump on and just do some
Civilized,
improvisation.
I don't know how
briefly thought it
civilized
would
they
be.
are, but that's okay.
I did at one time think it might be interesting to see Dr. Sage and Professor Savant from Sage and Savant suddenly pop into a couple of the pods and pop out. So
Oh
Yes.
my goodness! Wow, yeah.
before their bodies melt away to nothing, and they they go back home.
Aw. Yeah, Eddie and Chip, the magic people. But yeah, otherwise, part of me used to think that maybe the things on Earth and the things in space were different timelines, and that there was all going to like jump and click together in different ways, and that they were each other's grandparents or something crazy. But obviously, that's not what's happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they'll ever get to seed, will they?
I know that hair in my mouth, darn it. I know that the during the first season when they answered this question, some of them were talking about seeing them go to other planets, and I could see that going to another planet or possibly ending up back on Earth, and
Not knowing it was Earth.
trying to run for their life.
Yes.
Oh yeah, not knowing it was Earth. That would definitely be possible for Leet.
Yes. Yes. This planet is inhospitable. We must leave. But land in the middle of Liverpool. No, not Liverpool. No. No, Liverpool is very nice, and everyone should go there. It's very nice.
These aliens, they don't speak English, but I'll teach them. They're speaking English.
It's only because I'd love to use my Liverpoolian accent and I haven't been able to yet. Never mind. But yeah.
My only Liverpool accent is a vague approximation of the Beatles, so I won't even try it.
Bless the Beatles. Lovely. Yeah, amazing. I do think there needs to be a musical episode or season, though. I think there needs to be more singing audio fiction, quite frankly. So it needs full choreographed numbers in that biosphere. Just be amazing, wouldn't it?
Oh wow.
Oh God, I can just see Aaron trying to sing with Labichon Frise's accent to something.
Oh my goodness.
No. You give him the speaking song. Like the William Shatner speaking song.
Oh, okay. Like him doing Mr. Tambourine Man?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Labichon Frise doesn't sing. He talks over. It's a French thing. Like, half of the stuff that, Jacques...
Cousteau.
Not Cousteau. Brel. Jacques Brel. Like, half of his songs sound like he's talking instead of singing. So.
Oui, no,
Yeah,
you
it'll
ne
work.
regret. Yes. It'll be amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So-
these guys barged in and they insisted on being picked up.
Oh,
Oh, that is
That's
adorable.
too
I
beautiful
have my big
things.
fluff, but he's sleeping on the armchair over there, so I won't.
And nobody in audio knows what on earth we're looking at, and there's two big, gorgeous, small things that
small
have just
dog
been
eyes.
two little puppies.
waved at the screen. Hello.
Yeah, I record in a closet and the door's shut, so my puppy can't get in. So
I'm so glad I'm not recording inside a house with cats anymore. Oh my god.
Oh.
They would not stop trying to get inside of the recording room.
Oh, yeah.
You would just hear screaming outside.
There are no
of the
rules
recording
for cats.
yep.
Come in.
But yeah, or either that or it could be an evolution thing where somehow that explosion has sent everyone 5,000 years into the future and they are all pussycat versions of themselves.
Just
There you go. Yeah.
huge time skip.
Yeah.
Everything's been
Just
resolved,
let's
but
just
there's
blitz.
new problems.
Yeah, and
Ooh.
holograms and all that. Oh, or is that
Yeah.
Red Dwarf? Sorry, it's getting sidetracked. But yeah,
Well, anything is possible. I mean, we've already caught Shannon with her not knowing where the planets are located in the solar system.
It's okay, I don't know either. It's all
Well,
good.
the Oz9 bounced off of the moon, then barely missed Jupiter, to then barely missed Venus.
It's just
Slung around.
Slingshot.
yeah,
It's
science you don't understand.
Well, she did cover it later and say that, they haven't really known where they were, so they've managed to come back. So,
Oh, okay.
because they thought
fine.
they
Also,
were far away from the Earth.
what those planets are? Like, could they have just not been those planets and someone was like, yeah, that looks kind of like that's good enough. That's Jupiter.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I mean,
that
they
one
wouldn't
is.
know one planet
Whatever.
from another anyway. Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
but they did. The only person who knew that they bounced off the moon was Olivia,
Okay.
and the only person who mentioned Jupiter and Venus was the narrator.
Oh.
The others didn't even know that they'd come close.
And was the
Because-
narrator
The narrator
drunk?
is
Come
just
on, it's to
reading
prove
what's
the
handed
Oz9.
to him.
Yeah.
True.
He doesn't know what the
True.
shit's going on either.
It's a hostage situation. Free the narrator.
In his head.
Let them. It's a collective autonomy. Fight against the something inherited in the system. Yeah, it's terrible. The narrator, I feel, maybe do they feed him? What happens? Poor soul. Who knows?
No, we're doing a really good job getting through these questions
Yeah, sorry.
in the time limit that we have.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to the next one. What do you like or dislike about your character or characters?
I like her shoes. Very nice. I don't like. What I don't like. I don't like that there's not any chocolate scent for recording sessions. I don't think there's anything I don't like. I think obviously the singing scene would be fun, but no, I think perhaps even more sassy would be fun because that's totally alien to me. So it's fun to play it. I think I've answered all the questions. Next.
I've never played a character that I just didn't like. Because as the person, I'm just thinking that if the character didn't like themselves just inherently as they're written, then that would likely make me not like the character just by default of that. But it's because I'm too close to the character, I'm stepping into the character, it's kind of hard to put that value judgment on. I can say what I think the character likes and dislikes, but I can't say that I really have disliked anything. Even really not very savory characters, I can't say that I've really disliked them per se. I don't think I could play them honestly if I just dislike them based on the actor's point of view, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
All right, well, David, I think you and I have a bit of an advantage there. I don't know about Iri or Sarah, but we're both role players, and we can easily put ourselves into that position of our character. 'Cause, I mean, I do it once a week and twice every other week. So,
well,
I hate to break it to you, Kevin,
characters.
but I'm pretty sure it's
Are you
a prerequisite for voice
acting?
actors to have at some point role played. It's just
Probably.
a prerequisite. Like,
Yeah.
I've run D&D
Yeah,
games. I've run
well,
Vampire
yeah.
the Masquerade LARPs. Like,
There you go,
it's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't.
I just
done
didn't know
any
your
of that.
history.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm going-
I wonder if you'd like it, Sarah.
Well, I'm going to pop my cherry in the department of role playing with Hem Cleveland, and she's created a world for me. I interviewed her for Medieval about what it was like to work on those shows because I don't know, and I've listened to them but not been in. And so she's written this new cool thing, and I'm going to do that with Kareem Cromfley and the wonderful Karen
Oh,
Heimdall.
Kareem?
So Yes, I'm really looking
That's
forward to
gonna be
that.
crazy.
I can't.
You're gonna love that. You're gonna
Tell
have
him
so
hi
much
for
fun.
me.
Yeah.
I will. I speak to him lots.
Talked or
He's
seen to
amazing.
him in a while.
Yeah, he's a groovy dude. Everyone should employ him. And Karen, they're both amazing. And him, to be honest. So no, I haven't done it yet. So you say that, and I'm very excited to jump in because, I love embodying characters. I truly do. And the physicality of them and everything, I try and fix myself into places that person. Sarah disappears somewhere. I'm not quite sure where she is. I think she's here now. I'm not quite sure. I think this is me. But
that's the fun part about role playing. I haven't been doing it much lately with the character I play on Friday nights, but he's got that sort of half British, half American accent, like the East Coast snooty accent type thing going on.
Mid-Atlantics. Yes.
Because he's putting on.
Yes, you carry
Yes,
Grant.
that's it. That's what it's called.
Carry.
And and because he's trying to make himself seem better than he actually is when he's really just a thief. But but I speak in the character's voice and do all these things, and I lose myself in that character, and it's a lot of fun. It's a way to act without actually having a job. So
one day we shall be paid.
Well, I mean, I love Julie, and I love what it looks like she's ramping up for, so I'm super excited for that. I do have two things I don't like about Julie, however. One, that she seems to misunderstand how a telephone works. Hiding behind a bush, whispering into a cell phone is not inconspicuous, and it seems to be her modus operandi. And then
that's awesome.
Yeah, and the other thing is just this hiding in bushes deal, like.
Well, now let's face it. The people she's hiding from may seem like they're supposed to be, I hate when I lose words. They're supposed to seem like they're, educated and superior, but they're really just idiots.
Oh, I'm
with
sure.
a funny accent.
There's an element to playing a roguelike that I'm not quite enjoying with Julie. I feel like the entire time I should just be crouched and being like, man, I sure hope that guy doesn't go around the corner. I'm not in a great position right now.
You mean Shannon hasn't sent you 2 bits of bush to record behind?
I regret
Get that sorted.
that they are stuck in the mail. They got I'm not that far away, but the problem is that if you ship bushes from Seattle to Olympia, somewhere around Tacoma, the industrial complex just kind of shoves them into a really bad chute, and they get trapped.
Oh,
There's like a
bush
whole
tax.
chute
I
of
think
Tacoma
that's right, because there are a couple of bushes been sitting on my back porch forever and a day. So
Well.
yeah, unfortunately, I just
Tacoma,
haven't
we
gotten
are
to
the
it.
kind of the tar pits of the Puget Sound area.
So if anyone finds any stray bushes on their door, please pass them on to Iri, PO Box 99.
Yeah, I need more in-character stuff, It'll just be so much easier for me to play Julie if I'm just in a bush all the time.
Yeah. I just hope
Yeah.
that Mrs. Sheffield gets to deploy her machine gun lipstick at some point.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be interesting. With Greg, I like I said, he seems to be a lot like my personality. I don't know how Shannon managed to tag it, or maybe it's just me breeding it into it, and then she's going, "Oh, I like that," and rating it into it. But yeah, I like his personality. I like that he tries to be the friendly kind. But I also figure that one day he's just going to explode and yell at these idiots for being idiots.
This Hulk moment goes green, rips his clothes off.
Is
You
it
won't like me when I'm angry.
Y'all are lucky I'm not a bomb anymore.
would the stripes get ripped off?
Ooh, and splat on everyone else.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, when first came around, someone mentioned, zebras don't really have manes; they just have this brushy thing. And Shannon went, "Oh, you're right. Oh." But then we
I'll let you
decided,
in on
well,
a little
it was-
secret. The good guys, my buddies, have never fucking seen a zebra in their life.
Yeah, well, and that's what we figured out. Zebras are probably
There we go.
extinct, and it was probably just a robot horse that they painted stripes on. So
Yeah. Look, they tried their best, but somebody burned all of the encyclopedias for Z. So
Oh no, so everyone had to have buttons on their coats. Zips weren't allowed because they didn't know what they were. Bugger. No zithers being
Right.
played. Oh, it's a tragedy.
Oh, here's a good one. Of all the characters in the show, which character would you most like to get a beer with? Which would you trust to babysit your child or dog?
holy.
Oh God. Ew.
Oh, can all of us?
I want to get a beer with
just go to the
Olivia.
pub? Yeah, I was going to say Olivia. She's quite groovy. She'd get the rounds in, yeah?
Yeah.
And plus,
Straightforward. Shoots
Yeah.
from the hip.
she probably wouldn't get drunk, so, you can just keep
Oh.
going. And what was that? Did you say have a baby with? What was that question?
No, have a beer with. No. Who would you want to have a beer with? Who would you trust to babysit
Oh,
your
that's
children
where-
or dog?
Where my brain
Or
got
cat.
confused.
I don't have a dog. We'll go with cat.
Yeah, cat. Yeah. So,
God.
but
I
then
have to
again, a
abstain
cat
on
doesn't
the
care who's babysitting.
babysitting one.
It's a cat.
I think I would ask Leet to babysit my cat.
Yeah.
And I would ask Leet to do that because my cat is a vicious monster who bites everybody. And I think Leet is the only one who wouldn't smack him. He got bit.
You will guggle him.
Lee would probably be
Yeah.
sitting there with the cat hanging off his arm going, "Oh, isn't he cute?"
Yeah, I like my cat's a little vicious monster, so I think Leet is the only one that I would trust not to be reactively just be like, hey, what the hell? As for having a beer with, God, I don't know if I want to drink with any of them. They seem like the kind of people to start bar brawls.
I suppose walking into a bar with a zebra would just lead to bad jokes, wouldn't it?
No, remember, you could have a beer with your own character. You could have a beer with Julie.
No.
Hiding behind your own bush. Take mine.
Like, I guess I would also have I don't drink that much, but I think it would be fun to go with Leet to like Chuck E. Cheese or something.
Yeah. If he doesn't get wedged in the door, bless him.
I mean, even that would be entertaining.
Yeah.
There's an entertainment value to taking Leet anywhere.
I think just answer Leet to everything, actually.
Yeah.
I'd have a bath with, I'd go to the cinema. Although they wouldn't, no, don't go there. Yes!
Colin would also be funny to take drinking, if only because it's really funny to take snooty people drinking, especially to like a dive bar.
Now there's the danger talking.
Yeah, I would probably want to have a beer with Leet because with so much mass on him, I don't think he would ever get drunk. I
Right.
don't think he could drink enough to get drunk.
Oh, dude, I could do a drinking contest against him. That would be really funny.
You're suggesting you'd win.
I might.
Right.
Like in college, my trick at parties was people would put 6 shots of vodka in front of me and it would do nothing.
Amazing. Right,
Ooh,
next time
lucky
we're
you.
online like this, it's a drinking competition. Du-du-du-du-du-du.
Oh,
Liver of steel.
Yeah, well,
I
when I was in the hospital, they gave me 4 units of morphine and it didn't do shit either. So I don't know. I think I
Wow.
just don't process things very well.
Wow.
yeah. For me, pain meds don't really do much. They had me
Really?
on a morphine pump. I had an emerging appendectomy a couple years ago, and they had me on a morphine pump, and I was hitting the damn thing all the time and nothing.
Oh no, they had to knock me out to fix my shoulder.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we're not
but,
doing anything other than knocking you out because you're
but
not
when it
taking
comes to
any
alcohol,
replacement.
When you say
I
that,
can't
it's like,
drink anymore because of medication. But
Yeah, that's the same here technically.
oh well, I'll have yours. That's fine. I'll take one for the team. Or 2.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Skull. Cheers. Happy days.
Of course, for this other part of the question, who would you trust to babysit your child or dog? For me, honestly, probably Tiberius. I think he would take the best care of them.
Yes.
Wouldn't he insult them though?
Well, I mean, it's a dog.
But dogs, I don't know, they can tell. Cats don't give a shit, but dogs...
Oh, well, true, yeah, my dog would probably be barking at him the whole time, but, he'd probably feed her well and try to get her to, be quiet, so...
Makes sense.
But I wouldn't trust anybody aboard the ship to watch my dog. My dog would be better suited to watch them.
And bite. No, I think Mrs. Sheffield's too busy to have babies and pussies and dogs, so she just, she doesn't have time for things like that. So she wouldn't have, she'd just, I don't know what she'd do. She'd lurk in the background at the bar with all of them.
Maybe
and they
Joe?
wouldn't know she was there. Joe, yes, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a competency question.
Yeah.
That applies to everything with them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why we love them.
See, the section with competence was missing from their dictionary. So,
They took C out as
Did
well.
the C encyclopedia
Yes.
also get burned? Pity.
That's half the Scottish language gone.
Oh, God.
so what are your hopes for Oz 9?
Hopes. But it goes on forever and ever, and we're all employed gainfully.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I know a common thread has been hoping that someone picks it up and turns it into a cartoon series, and we all get to do our voices, and it goes on and becomes a big
That'd
hit.
be fun.
That's
I would
groovy.
love
Independently
to
wealthy.
see it as animation. Absolutely. It
Yeah.
serves so well for animation.
For sure.
See it on
Yeah.
Adult Swim.
Oh,
yeah.
it would be super fun on
Or
Adult Swim.
or on TBS, they've done a couple of those types of shows there too.
Oh, have they?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't remember what it was called. Conan O'Brien produced it.
Like a
okay.
Venture
It was on about a year or two ago.
Bros-esque show.
It was a science fiction thing, and quite honestly, the main character put me a lot in mind of several of the characters from our show.
Oh,
They
interesting.
stole the characters. Defamation. Cry defamation.
Yeah, it was. So,
Yeah, I
but,
think it's interesting that
I-
the discussion's had a lot. I do feel like I love the medium as it is, and I think it's the best medium, audio. I really do. I enjoy it so much because, as the audience listening, you create your version of those characters in that world. You probably share some commonality with other people in some elements, but actually, as an individual experience, every single person listening has a different view of everything, and that's why I love it the most, because it's you being most creative. And as a voice actor, I get to do so many different types of character, from crone to toddler to middle-aged somebody, as sassy and evil, and all sorts of characters, which I couldn't do physically because this. So
Yeah.
I think the medium as it is my favourite. And yes, of course, obviously going to another medium is very potentially exciting for anything. And but I'm kind of sad if people say that you've made it if you've made it into telly. No, you've made it because you've made this brilliant splash in audio. So I think big up audio folks, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But yes, of course, films, animation, and all that goes with that, I think are groovy too. But yeah, let's celebrate what we're doing right now. I think that's really groovy.
I do know that there's been some talk about trying to do a graphic novel of the show.
That'd be fun.
So Shannon's been kind of working on that here and there, but a matter of getting the finances together. The artist who did all of our character drawing would do the artwork for it, and it would just be a graphic novelization of our shows.
That's so cool. Yeah, amazing. There's some talented artists, aren't there? I mean, fan art wise as well, it's quite fun to watch on any show, things coming in as to how people interpret characters. I love that. And that kind of interaction you cannot buy, can you? That's fun. I think you kind of feel like you've made it if someone's done a version of your character in a show. I think that's very exciting.
Yeah.
So kudos to artists.
If anybody does want to do our show as a cartoon, contact Shannon Perry.
Yes.
At SK Perry.
At gmail.com.
skperry@gmail.com. That's exactly
There you go.
right.
We got there between us. See, teamwork.
Yeah.
Woo! Woo! Go on.
Or through the Oz9 website at oz-9.com, or on the Discord server on the Oz.
Or yell
At
at
Junkie
her
Discord
on
server.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, in any accent you like.
You could probably just scream into the ether long enough. Somebody will hear it.
I don't know. That's what I've been doing.
That seems to be the
with
way.
voice
That
acting
seems
for
to be the
years.
way we promote our show anyway. We just kind of yell, "Watch the show," and people do. So, or listen to the
Yes,
show.
watch it.
Yeah, watch it.
Put your
Watch the
eyeballs
audio drama.
on the website as the bar moves.
It's great though, isn't it? Because there aren't so many comedies about, are there? And so I think this does stand out as a groovier of the more recent shows in the last year that
Yeah.
have been continually fantastic fun. Because comedy is hard, isn't it? So I do feel that anyone who does it, so kudos to Shannon for writing such cool fun.
Oh yes, definitely. Shannon
and-
is just.
Yeah, and her buoyancy and
amazing-
amazingness. Yeah, we said that at the same time.
Uh,
We looked
she-
at her. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You're all aware. Shannon actually wrote a couple of kids books.
Yes.
Marietta and the Creeping Nasties, and Marietta and the Giant Mistake. I just finished reading both of them. They are so good.
Awesome.
I need to yell at her because the end of Giant Mistake made me cry. So
Oh dear.
Okay.
it was started out as sad tears and then they became happy tears. So
So, well, good.
But
It's
it's
not an
really
onion
well written.
stuck on the back page or anything. It was actually the words.
well,
It's a marketing
unfortunately,
ploy.
the Giant Mistake is only available as a digital download for like Kindle or any of those things.
It's still groovy.
But-
Kudos. Yeah.
Yep.
Hooray for
You can
Shannon
also
now,
get
I
the
think.
Creeping Nasties that way too.
Cool. I think
It's-
I got some of
it's-
those last
and
week.
It's just, it really does. It's a good showcase of how well she writes, and she is a really good writer. She does,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
the stories she has about how she researches what she puts in the show is just. If she could ever do a Patreon of just her stories of how she's done research for different things, I think that would just go over well. People
Awesome.
would love it. She talks about her browser history and everything else.
Oh, yes. I think that actually would be a brilliant podcast, whatever. Everybody's browser history.
Yeah, or scary.
That's the,
Yeah.
So that's what this person is about. Yeah, because I've written horror things and all sorts. So goodness, yeah, how do you make somebody immobile with all those things? It's like, oh, so what are you planning, Sarah?
Yeah, right. I know. Scary.
Yes, it is a bit crazy. Maybe
FBI, Interpol, looking at your browser history and going, what is this person up to?
Oh man, yeah.
Oh, here's a good one. When people ask you what the podcast is about, what do you say?
Oh, that's a good question. What to say? I think I just explain it as a space pod of grooviness. I like the word groovy, and that it's funny, and you should just jump in.
I feel like I
Essentially.
haven't talked to another human in like months. So, gosh.
This is just
I
a
usually
dream.
tell them I always bring up Blake 7. And then everybody always says, what the hell is Blake 7?
Wow.
Then I have to explain
yeah.
Blake 7.
Gosh, same era
So
as
I'm
me.
not good at selling podcasts.
Yeah, I have a hard time describing it too, but I usually refer to it, if I can, the best way I refer to it is a cross between Red Dwarf and Hitchhiker's Guide.
Uh-huh. I get that.
I'll say a quirky British-style comedy with absurdist humor.
Yeah, there's a definite Python thing in there.
Oh,
yeah.
Python.
Yeah.
Because those influences are very clearly there between all three of what you mentioned. Hitchhikers and Red Dwarf and Python.
Little slide in of
Yeah.
Python
Definitely
with
not
a
Blake 7 though,
lemon
because
curry.
Shannon has never seen that show,
Oh,
which is funny.
Very few
to
people
me.
have.
Yeah, plenty of people have. They're just
Millions.
old and in Britain.
Yes. I reckon, yeah, probably all of the population of Britain watched it because we only had like 2 channels when that was out. And now look at the world.
Fun show.
Yeah. I
Channel
agree.
1, Blake 7. Channel 2, Doctor Who.
Yes. I mean, it was the same creator. They're both Terry Nation, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I got the collector's cards in like Ready Breck for Blake 7. Or was it Ready Breck? I can't remember. But I remember getting them. It's very exciting. Showing my age. Yes.
What other projects are you involved in, planning on, hoping for?
Wow. We're all stunned into silence of the too many projects reeling in our heads. Well, I'm trying to find more funding for the next season of Anyone for Coffee, which is very exciting, and I'm embroiled in various fun things as recurring characters, which is very cool. So I think Tunnels is coming back, and I've recorded for a plethora of different things this last few weeks. Edict Zero, which is awesome fun, people should listen to. And yeah, otherwise I'm writing, I do Bogies and Ghoulies, which is my kids' horror show. I've written a few episodes of that, so it's about getting my act together to get those done. And Madcap, which should have been out last summer, is maybe possibly going to come out this summer. It's another 6 dystopian stories that other writers have written alongside me, and it's got a cast of many folks who I adore and are amazing, so thank you to all of them for jumping in. It's going to be 12 months later than planned, but better late than never, right?
I know I mentioned when I was part of that creators interview that it just kind of popped out of my mouth. I hadn't even discussed it. That there was a idea that I had that I was writing down that I would like the cast to do. I've got one episode of it written, and the next episode partially written and mostly in my head, but I haven't gotten enough of it done to show the cast and say, hey, do we want to do this? And it would only be like a once a month thing, because several of the cast members said, I don't know if I've got time to do 2 podcasts.
Just
but I
2?
do know that, yeah, I know.
Silly.
No, do 10. Why do 1 when you can do 11 at the same time?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, just it's fine.
But I do know, and Shannon might cut this part, but she has been wanting us to do audio interpretations of her books that I mentioned earlier.
Awesome.
I remember that.
So
Super
I don't know if
excited about
I don't know if she wants to keep that secret or what. So she might cut this part.
Just a long beep.
yeah.
And Shannon is beep.
Well, I think they cut that out of the dictionary as well. So I'll use that.
Yeah. Interesting. Gosh. I feel like when it comes to my plans and stuff, it's been kind of a long, arduous road. But now that I'm healthier,
Yay!
I'm
We heard the air quotes.
yeah. I've become
You are.
adept at air quote voicing. And some of my team that was also dealing with some health. Like, Crossroads Stations got whammed a couple years back. So my team's starting to do better. I'm starting to do better. We really want to get Jim Robbie and the Wanderers back off the ground. We have 2 more seasons planned, and we're just kind of sitting on them. And then I had some other shows that I wanted to work on. So I have stuff that's in like the back burner. It's just taking a while because we're just trying to make sure we don't burn ourselves out again or get sick again or whatever.
Yes.
So, and that's a definite thing in the podcasting community. I know a lot of people who have burned themselves out.
Because you do so
badly.
much, you know? It's
Well,
not just
yeah,
about the
there's-
making and the planning, is it? There's so much that goes alongside that people have no idea who just listen, perhaps.
And it's
the
not
things that people do.
structured like television or video games or whatever. Granted, video games have their own crunch problem, but like the problem is that everybody does everything. And we're kind of the mindset that if we can't produce as fast as other people who might have more money or more people or whatever, like, or if we're not working at the same pace as other people, we're not good enough. There's a real comparison problem.
We need to
podcasting,
stop
I
that,
think.
don't we? Stop. If you're
Yeah.
doing that, stop it now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to teach myself that, like, so long as I get stuff done, even if it takes like 3 years to get the next episode of Jim Robbie out, you know, at least I'm doing something. And I think, to be honest, I should be having fun doing this.
100%.
Most podcasters aren't getting paid enough to be destroying themselves over these things.
Gosh, you're so right.
Like,
Right.
I would rather have fun and treat this like a hobby, even though I am technically working in a professional level. But like, I can't burn myself out again. I can't get sick again. I can't, like, it's not fun.
No.
Obviously not fun, but it's definitely something that's been bothering me for a really long time now, that like podcasting is so built around competition and pushing oneself to like an extreme when we should really just be like chilling and helping each other out.
But where has that come from, though, you know? It's like, who is saying that? There's no one saying it. I think it's an implied
I think it's also just because
pressure.
we're looking at other industries that have like a much better setup, and we're saying like, why can't we get to where they are? And like the reason we can't get to where they are is because half of us are people in our own houses with recording studios that we've built. But that there's a beauty in that in itself. Like, no, we're not a movie studio, but we get to make what we want to make. We don't have to get greenlit. We don't have to like go through all of the stress of that kind of stuff. But no, we're not gonna, you know, be able to release an episode a week necessarily, and that's okay.
Yeah, I'm doing that at the minute, and it's really stupid. So don't do that.
Yeah.
I basically, Anyone for Coffee is an amalgam of audio fiction and 2 separate interviews, one done on a Zoom and one done over Clean Feed. So 3 completely different editing experiences done every week. It takes it's a 50-minute episode. So, you know, if you're doing podcast things, you know that's a lot of work. On top of my voice acting and other things. And I forgot to say about Mediva, which is boiling in the background as well, which I'm releasing soon with some amazing people in it, including, I hope, Shannon herself's going to come and talk to me about creating comedy characters and bringing them to life.
Oh, you know she'll be delighted to. You know
absolutely.
that.
Yeah, I can't wait. Need to set a date. Yeah.
Well, that's the questions that that were made by Shannon or whoever made them originally. So now we're on to a couple of questions from people from the Discord server. Were you a fan of Oz 9 before you joined the cast, or were you brand new to the show?
Fan. Bing. 10 points.
I gave my story at the top of the show,
Yeah.
so instant immediate fan.
I feel bad. I didn't listen to the show before I came on. I got the email and I was like, oh shit, if I'm going to voice for the show, I should probably listen to it. And so I went and I like binged through all of the episodes, and I had a lot of fun and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I it wasn't until Shannon contacted me and was like, hey, you want to voice it? I was like,
Sure.
I need to listen to that.
But that's so exciting as well, isn't it? All this unknown world that you suddenly...
Yeah. But it's also kind of cool listening to something, knowing that you're going to be part of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like having that chance to listen to it for the first time, knowing like, oh shit, I'm going to be in this. I'm going to be able to like, I'm going to hear my voice at some point as a character. So
that is truly
that was really
exciting.
fun.
I agree with that. Like when Shannon asked, it's like, oh, exciting! I'm going to be in a comedy because I've played a lot of badass, nasty people. So it's kind of nice to play a badass, kind of nice maybe person. Who knows? But yeah, villains are the best.
I imagine they're so fun. No one's ever cast me as a villain.
Oh, Iri, We need to get
One
on
of
that.
these days. I know.
I'm gonna call the show Iri the Villain. We'll get onto that.
Doing voice acting for me was basically a bucket list item for me. And when I reached out and said, "Hey Tim, could you ask her if she'd be interested?" and she said yes, it was, I was okay if she'd said no. But I enjoyed the show. It was
That's
fun
awesome.
to listen to. I'd say I was a fan, but before I decided to reach out and join cast. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun to do this, and it's something that I know that at some point in time, even if it's hidden somewhere in the deep dark recesses of the internet in 20 or 30 years, I can still point at it and say, "See that? I did that. I was part of that."
I feel that. The legacy. The legacy is audio print somewhere. Until we all blow up in about 3 billion years. But until then, it's there. But
Some
I'm
of
just
us will
going
be
to...
around at that point.
Yeah. We'll be on other planets scattered like seeds, won't we? But I think just your point about reaching out, I condone that a lot. No, that's the wrong word. What's the word? I big up that a lot. That you should, if you love a show, tell that producer that you love their show, and if there's any way you could do a voice on it, and like you've done, you never know when it could happen. And I say that a lot to voice actor folks on my show. Go for it.
As somebody
do it.
who has done producing, I hate casting.
Yeah.
I hate it. It's the worst thing I hate it. It's the worst. So when I have like a list of people who have reached out to me to be like, "Hey, I love you. I want a voice on the show," and I know that they have like sound equipment and they can do it, and like that makes me so happy because I can just email someone and be like, "Please do this for me. I don't want to have to cast." Like casting calls are so exhausting.
Yeah.
And so I mean, if I know that they can do it, and I'm like, even just, I don't like voice reels personally, but like even just knowing what they sound like it's so much easier to pick out a character if I have like a network of people that I know that I can be like, "Okay, I know you're reliable. I know you can do this.
Yeah.
Go do it."
For sure. Brilliant. Hooray. So just reach out and go and join your favourite shows. You never know
Gonna
where
have
it
to
could
talk
lead.
to the mission rejected people then.
Dun, dun, dun.
Drop a little kind of thing on them and say, "Hey."
Yes.
I actually auditioned for...
I kind of hinted, but it wasn't. I don't think I hinted strongly enough.
Now you have to be blunt in the podcasting industry. None of us know what's happening
Right.
at any time.
You go, "Oh, you mean me?"
Actually,
Wait, you were talking
you
to
said
me?
mission
I
rejected.
can't tell.
Yeah, you said mission rejected. Tim Sherber and I both actually auditioned for that last episode that just came out of Mission Rejected.
Oh, did you?
So yeah, neither of us got a part, but we both auditioned. So
Oh, cool.
Next time.
Yeah.
Keep
There'll be
going.
more mission rejected episodes, hopefully.
yep.
But you see, maybe it was doing what it
That's a
said
fun
on the
one.
tin, that you were rejected by Mission Rejected. And then your mission is to jump back on and go, "No." Because that's the other thing, isn't it, with rejection, It's like dealing with that. And I think that is kind of a hard thing sometimes when it's happening again and again. And I wonder, how do you folks, have you ever had rejection and dealt with it in a way that maybe you shouldn't? Or have you got ways of dealing with rejection in a good, positive way? Just adding my own questions.
To me, it's kind of water off my back. It's when you do enough theater, you go through it enough, and I tell myself, because it's very often true, and especially having been on the casting side as well, that most of the times it's not you that was rejected, it's that there's someone else that hit that role more accurately. So, and I don't find that a reflection on me. It's just somebody just had that certain something that the casting director was looking for.
Yes.
So I just say, okay, well, that's all right. There will be more roles down the line. There will be more parts down the line, and I will get cast in something down the line. So it's like a bus.
Yeah.
If you miss a bus, just another one will come.
Yep. Several at once.
As long as you keep going to the bus stop, that's the whole thing.
Yes.
Not to be excessively negative. Not that this. I don't know if it's excessively negative or not, but like, at least with like stage acting and stuff like that, podcasting is a little better. if you look a specific way that just isn't commonly castable, sometimes you just get used to not being cast.
Okay.
Like a lot of the stuff that they were casting at my university when I was doing stage acting, like, didn't require a small Jewish person. Ever.
Okay.
And they weren't doing a lot of blind casting. So I just kind of got used to the idea that, like, okay, I don't look like what you want me to look for the character, and that's fine. I'll just make my own stuff. That's kind of why I got into podcasting, because I was like, okay, I can't see myself anywhere. There's no Middle Eastern Jewish women. Fine, I'll make
Represent.
one.
Yes.
Yeah, like, and I think that's one of the things I really like about podcasting is that if you want that representation, you can make that representation, and then if it doesn't necessarily need to be representation, people are just listening to my voice. It's not my face, it's not how I look, or I don't know. So it's a lot nicer. So yeah, when I get, like, with the rejection and everything, it's kind of like, okay, I just didn't fit what you needed for that role. Like, that happens.
Yeah.
I'll get
Okay.
something
Yeah,
else. Somebody
that's
will
part of the
want
reason
me.
why. Right. That's part of the reason why I wanted to start getting into voice acting. I don't have the look that people want. I've always been a little overweight, a little chunky, and I don't necessarily have the right voice or the right look that they're looking for. I've got a fairly tenor voice, so it's hard for me to have that deep masculine voice, which is why I hated doing the voice of Matt on the show, because he was supposed to be this hunky guy, and I can't get that deep voice that sounds right. It just sounds silly instead of deep and macho. But when it comes to, for the most part, yeah, rejection, it happens. It's going to happen. You're going to get rejected for things. That doesn't stop me from later on going to or listening to the show and going, I could have done that role so much better. But
Yes.
I mean, jealousy is one thing.
yeah,
There's always
What
a
is-
role you wanted, and you're like, oh, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And you're grumpy on that person
Right.
for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, for what it's worth, you all look beautiful. 100%.
Thank you.
Just thought I'd say. Stunned silence.
well, we have a couple more questions on here if we can get to them. Apart from Oz 9, do you have a favorite podcast?
Oh my goodness, how can I choose between my children?
Quirpline. Go listen to
Groovy.
Quirpline.
Cool.
Line.
It's so the premise of Quirpline is essentially it's like a radio station, but it's more like a talk show radio station that has like two hosts and guests sometimes in a fictional, very strange kind of cuckoo clock or cuckoo cloud land, small town in Canada. It's very funny, and it's one of those podcasts that, like, there's no stakes. So for me, I have a lot of nerves. And so sometimes it's really nice to just listen to something absolutely ridiculous that, like,
Okay.
you're just like, yeah, this is fun, and no one's getting, grievously injured or killed or, I don't know, upset very often. So
Nice.
it's just a nice, relaxing listen for me.
Groovy.
Well, it's no secret to anybody who's listened to anything I've talked about that obviously Oz 9 has been a favorite, and then to be on it is just an absolute honor. Relativity is one of my all-time favorites. That show is it's just so much fun. It's so fantastic. And
Yeah.
Girl in Space was the one that got me interested in producing and
Wow.
creating an audio drama. Those right there are my top 3 easily.
Amazing. Yes, Sarah Rowena. Hooray.
Yeah, honestly, I never really listened to podcasts until Tim started posting on Facebook about about Oz 9. Then I started listening to Oz 9, and then I found out about Wi-Fi Sci-Fi. So I listened to the Ninth World Journal, Relativity, Girl in Space, Sage and Savant, and why do I always have a hard time with the last one?
Moonbase Theta Out.
Moonbase Theta Out, yes. I don't know why I have the problem with that. But I listened to all those, and then after I listened to those shows, I was like, I could really go for something else. So I listened to Wolf 359, Wooden
Love
Overcoats, Mission Rejected. I like the comedy stuff. We Fix Space Junk.
Yay.
I'm very much into comedy. It's so much better because I spend so much of my day driving around in a bus, listening to people talk about real life, and most of it is just makes me want to just yell "shut up" at them. So listening to something that I can just laugh at is
release.
Great.
Yes.
As for a favorite, I don't know that I really have a favorite of the others. I guess Wooden Overcoats is kind of high up there.
So classy.
I've grown up with British comedy. My dad introduced me to Monty Python with the Holy Grail when I was a kid.
Amazing.
And then we used to watch the British sitcoms on our local public broadcasting station. So I saw Good Neighbors, Are You Being Served, and several other things. Anything that has that British comedy flavor to it, it's great. So
Groovy. Yes, hooray for British comedy. Again, there needs to be more. But yeah, I agree with the whole. I'm a Python born and raised lass. I'm in love with Michael Palin, and Michael, if you ever want to come for a pint, I'm free. But essentially, I love so many podcasts. I listen to a lot. I try to listen to a lot because I feel as a voice actor that helps me get better too, listening to dynamics and what people are doing and how they're doing it and all those kind of things. So I've listened to so many, and I love the Truth podcast. That was one of my ways in. The Truth and Wolf 359 were some of the first things I was really enamoured with, as well as the Bright Sessions by the amazing Lauren Shippen. But there's so many now. I mean, me and Fiona were made up to be on the Amelia podcast, the Amelia Project, which is again, that was one of our favourites, and we were like, we're going to be in it. It's so exciting. Yeah. So things like that are always glorious to get involved in. But there's so much right now, so many fantastic writers, producers, sound designers coming through. So it's difficult to nail down newer ones, but yeah, there's some new talent coming through that I think are working beautifully hard to improve their craft. With a lot of people, you can see from their first episodes how different that is to the end of their first season and things like that. So I love that it's a learning medium for a lot of people right now. So if you want to make stuff, get out there and do it. There's loads of people who will help you 100%, including everyone here, I'm sure. But yeah,
if you're in the Olympia area, I have a recording booth that's available.
Dun, dun, dun. There you go. $50 an hour.
Yeah. No, it's $1 a minute.
Oh,
so
groovy.
$60 an hour.
Is that with or without clothes? That's fine.
More expensive. I mean, if you bring a sanitization equipment, you can be in there naked.
Good. Yeah.
It's good on that, I guess.
I suppose it depends what you're recording, but yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Tangent.
We've got one more question that was asked by folks on the Discord server.
Nice.
We keep getting more surprises about what's going on with these characters and the Oz project. Without any spoilers, how much were you told about your characters? Are you privy to information that hasn't yet been revealed to the audience? Well, that would require Shannon to actually know what's going on, so...
No, I have absolutely no idea. Which is exciting.
No. Yeah.
Oh, you guys didn't get your Bibles in the mail?
Well, I did, but it came from the Gideons, so...
Oh, well.
It's still in the decontamination unit for 72 hours.
It's stuck in Tacoma with the ficuses.
It's behind your bush, Mrs.
Yeah. God. No, I kind of like not knowing what the hell's happening. Every episode is like a...
It's like life.
I like cold reading to begin with, but I deliberately don't read the scripts that Shannon sends us. So that like mid-episode, I'm just like, wait, what? Why is this happening?
Bonnie tends to record that way too.
Theo, Dr. Theo Bromae, I'll say this about him, is that joining the cast as the last member, and Theo Bromae was woken up from a pod, and he doesn't really know what's going on. Well, of course, nobody does on that ship, but everything is completely unfamiliar to him. He doesn't know any of these people. He doesn't know the situation, and it's not the way he understood it was going to be. So coming in like that, where everything is a surprise, works to my advantage as an actor. Then I can be surprised as Dr. Theo Bromae. So I think it would be a little bit of a hindrance to play him with foresight of what was going to come or what was going to become of him.
I think it's that way for everyone. I don't think anybody knows anything about what's going on at all.
No, I have no idea what's going on in Mrs. Sheffield.
Which is on par with the cast of Oz 9.
Yeah, I mean, every episode I learn something new that I'm like, oh, okay, this makes less sense now. Thank you. It's fine. I don't need to know.
Before I actually recorded for my first episode, Shannon had me sit in on one of the Skype sessions to see how things go, and they were joking about, sometimes she's shoving lines under our face or at the recording, and I thought, yeah, right. Until we've been getting scripts literally 10 minutes before we start recording. So it makes it. It's fun.
I think it works to the show's advantage that the actors are just as much in the dark as the characters. So,
Chaos ensues.
Yeah.
One of my favorite memories about that was when we had the episode where the albatross thinks that she's Colin's wife.
Oh, yes.
Tim is reading that line, and he says, and he reads the line, Helen, not Helen, Glinda, your sister, or Glinda, my wife? What? What wasn't in the script? He just, the shock of him reading that line was just, everyone died laughing.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Well, I mean, that was the last question we got from. We did get one more question, but it's more for a full cast, and I think only maybe one of us here could actually answer that question. But I'm going to send that on to Shannon.
Why
if
don't
she
we
wants to do
try,
something
though?
later.
Come on, I'm up for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Let me pull it up and I'll see if I can.
Do it in your best French accent. Come on.
The best French accent that one can do?
Oui, monsieur.
Okay, let's try.
The moustache.
So good.
Has anyone's character changed or ended up going in a direction they did not expect them to?
Oh, I did change my clothes between the first episode I was in and the second one. Other than that, not sure about changing anything else.
You know, to be true, I was told that I was playing somebody's wife. And then I show up, and it turns out I'm some sort of international super spy. So I think there's a bit of change there, so not too bad.
I did not speak in my French accent. I am upset. I am. Oh, voilà, monsieur, le cabage avec la voiture. Oh, non. David, what is your French accent?
I think a lot of things change very quickly. And that makes it fun because you think you have an idea of what's going to happen. Even just a small bit, just about your character. And then all of a sudden, you've got no idea. And
it's
very strange. And
I have an idea that's just come to me. We could release a book called That's Not My Bush. A little side.
Might end up in the adult section.
It's not my bush.
There you go, something to
ponder.
Bush is it?
Lingerie thing.
See, we have lingerie range, we have bush books, we have so many ideas. We have an iPad that tans you. What can we not do?
We're doing well, I think. This is a wonderful, brainstorming session for things that Shannon can talk to us with.
Yes.
Yes, well, of course. But what has changed about me? Well, I said I was a bomb. I'm a zebra.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Of course, my first character died. Then my second character died. Then my third character died. My fourth
Nobody
character
expects the. Oh.
died.
The Spanish murdering.
The fourth one fell over into the swamp and burned. And oh no.
Beautiful. Tabil, what do you say?
Oh. Well, with 3 episodes, there's not been much time or opportunity for him to change. So.
Yes, it is true. But wait till the 4th one. It all kicks off from there.
That's where the pivot's going to happen.
Where,
That's
yes.
The 4th one,
The 4th episode, he becomes Jamaican.
Barry says Starbucks has been dreaming all of this.
A barista's dream.
If she turns,
You
if she
still
pulls a
don't
St.
like
Elsewhere
people
on us with
touching
this
you, though.
episode, with this show, final episode of Oz 9. It was all Dr. Theo's fever dream while he was in the pod.
Oh my goodness. Mold spore
looking at
infection
it
kind of.
Unless we are all actually a figment of Shannon's imagination and we are not entirely real in the first place.
That couldn't be possible.
No? You sure?
No.
I think anything is possible.
I'm positive.
Fair enough if you say it's true. It's true.
I don't know anything.
Are we finito? Are we finished?
Well, that's all the questions. Does anybody else have anything they want to say or feel they want to share with our listeners?
I'm just having a good time on the show. Just fun. Just looking forward to next season.
Same. It's very exciting to be in something funny. So keep up the
You
funny.
draw me.
Keep listening. Draw you.
Sunglasses.
They'll just no bush included.
It could be a bush. It's fine. I have no control over the internet.
No,
They're gonna do what they want.
this is true.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, keep listening and share it. Share it to your friends and your friends' friends and your friends' 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 friends and your etc. Just repeat to fade.
Thanks again to Iri Alexander, Sarah Golding, Kevin Hall, and David S. Deere of Oz 9 Podcast. Our music is composed and performed by John Faley. Our artwork is by Lucas Elliott. Until next time, Space Monkeys, narrator out.